There's a plant in Anderson, South Carolina, that's been building refrigerators since 1988. Big, boring, top freezer refrigerators, the kind that end up in rental houses, garages, and your grandmother's kitchen. Around 1,200 people work there, and by the end of this month, it stops. Not slows down, stops. Electrolux, the company that owns Frigidaire, filed the paperwork with the state. 1,255 people laid off. The refrigerator work moves to Juarez, Mexico, and the building gets gutted and retooled to make washers and dryers instead in a joint venture with a Chinese company called Midea. Same building, same parking lot. No more refrigerators. So if you clicked on this looking for a list of refrigerator brands still made in America, understand one thing first. That list isn't a monument. It's a whiteboard, and somebody's standing at it with an eraser. I'm going to give you 5 brands that still build refrigerators in this country. Real plants, real cities, real people clocking in. Full-size residential refrigerators. Final assembly on American soil right now in 2026. Not a headquarters, not a design studio, the factory. Because here's what almost nobody shopping for a refrigerator has ever been told. There's a federal rule for the words made in USA, and it's strict. A fridge can be built end to end in an American factory by American workers and still fail it over a single imported part, like the compressor. Everything else you see on the box, assembled in USA, American engineered, a flag, a photo of a factory, is a weaker claim wearing the same clothes. By the end of this, you'll understand why the word American on an appliance means almost nothing, and what to actually look at instead. Start with the one where there's no ownership chart to untangle and no plant sitting on a closure notice. Sub-Zero was founded on August 20th, 1945 in Madison, Wisconsin by a man named Westier Bocquet. It's still a private company, still owned by the same family, 3rd generation. And here's the thing. People get wrong constantly, including the guy whose video probably showed up next to this one. Madison is the headquarters. It is not the factory. The refrigerators come out of Fitchburg, Wisconsin, and Goodyear, Arizona. If you're going to tell people where something is built, get the building right. What Sub-Zero is actually known for goes back to 1955. When they pioneered dual refrigeration. 2 separate sealed systems, one for the fresh food side, one for the freezer, instead of one compressor, trying to serve both compartments through a damper. Fresh food doesn't dry out from freezer air. Freezer odors don't migrate. 2 systems, 2 things to maintain, and 2 things that can be serviced independently. And the reason Sub-Zero leads this list isn't nostalgia. It's direction of travel. Everybody else in this video is either standing still or backing toward the door. Sub-Zero is opening a new refrigeration plant in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They already own Wolf, the cooking brand, and Cove, the dishwasher brand. And both of those are built in American plants too. American owned, American built, family controlled, and expanding in the same 12 months that 2 other companies on this list are cutting American jobs and moving refrigerator work to Mexico. Now, remember that rule I just walked you through. Here's where it actually gets tested. I'm not going to tell you Sub-Zero slaps an unqualified Made in USA on the box, because almost nobody in this industry can. Compressors, electronics, some hardware. This is a global supply chain, and Sub-Zero sources like every other manufacturer on Earth does. But that's not the twist I promised you. The twist with Sub-Zero is that there isn't one, No Chinese parent company 2 sections from now. No union standing up to say the work's quietly leaving the state. No plant on a WARN notice. I'm not going to sell you a Sub-Zero either. They're extremely expensive, and they're built-in units, which for a lot of people isn't even a realistic option. But if the question is, which of these 5 brands is exactly what it looks like, with nothing waiting to surface later in the video, this is the one. If you want to see the largest American refrigerator operation left in this country, you go to Louisville, Kentucky, to a place called Appliance Park. It's not a factory. It's a campus, 750 acres, more than 6 million square feet of manufacturing, turning out washers, dryers, dishwashers, and refrigerators. Production started there in 1953, and today more than 8,000 people work full-time at Appliance Park and a nearby call center. That's not a legacy operation limping along. That's the single biggest thing in American appliance manufacturing, and they are pulling work back into the country right now. In August of 2025, GE Appliances announced more than $3 billion of investment in its U.S. operations over 5 years, second largest investment in the company's history. More than 1,000 new jobs. Gas range production coming back from Mexico to Lafayette, Georgia. Water heater production coming back from China to Camden, South Carolina. Front-load washers and a combo washer-dryer coming back from China to Louisville on the back of a $490 million project there. And refrigerators. 6 refrigerator models currently built in China are moving to the top freezer plant in Decatur, Alabama, which is insourcing 22 cubic foot models to keep up with demand. Why now? The company said it out loud. Their vice president of clothes care told CBS that high tariffs on Chinese imports pushed them to accelerate the decision. Their CEO, Kevin Nolan, put it about as plainly as an executive can, with lean manufacturing, upskilling, and automation. In his words, the math works for manufacturing in the United States. So here's the part nobody says. GE Appliances is not GE. General Electric sold it. GE Appliances has been owned by Haier, the Chinese appliance conglomerate, since 2016. It's been 10 years. Every press release the company puts out says it right in the dateline. GE Appliances, a Haier company. Since that acquisition, they've put more than $3.5 billion into American manufacturing and distribution. Sit with that. The most American refrigerator plant in the country is owned by a Chinese company. Meanwhile, later in this video, you're going to watch an American-owned company move refrigerator work in the opposite direction. So which one is the American refrigerator? If your definition is who signs the paychecks in Louisville and Decatur, GE Appliances wins. And it isn't close. If your definition is where the profits ultimately land, it's a Chinese company. Both of those are true at the same time. That's not me dodging the question. That's the honest answer. And anybody who tells you it's simple is selling you something. Tell me in the comments which one you think counts. I've got a guess about how that's going to split. Now go the other direction. Whirlpool is the only large appliance manufacturer left that's actually headquartered in the United States, and they build refrigerators in exactly one American plant, Middle Amana, Iowa. Everything that comes out of there wears one of 4 badges: Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, or Amana. French door units, column units. If you've ever bought a KitchenAid refrigerator thinking it came from some KitchenAid factory somewhere, no. It came from Amana, Iowa. Same building, different badge. 5 years ago, that plant had somewhere north of 3,000 workers. Then it went in rounds. 250 laid off in July of 2025. 341 more effective March 9th, 2026. 288 more when the second shift was eliminated on July 5th. The machinists union representing the plant says the workforce is now somewhere between 12 and 1,300, and that when the cuts finish, they expect 500 to 600 people left standing in a building that used to hold 6 times that. The union also says there's no severance. Whirlpool also sold the plant itself. The building, $92.7 million, per the Iowa County Assessor. Here's where it gets genuinely strange, and I want to give you both sides straight because the company and the union are describing two completely different factories. Whirlpool says this is modernization. They say they've put more than $150 million into Amana in recent years. They say the plant will keep building 2-door, bottom mount, and French door refrigerators, and that the transformed facility will, quote, continue to produce best-in-class refrigerators alongside warehousing, parts production, and sub-assembly work. The International Association of Machinists says that's not what's happening. They point out that Whirlpool finished a major refrigerator plant expansion in Ramos Arizpe, Coahuila in 2024 and put $65 million into another facility in Celaya. And they claim Whirlpool has designated Mexico as the sole producer of its French door refrigerator line. The exact product Whirlpool says is staying in Iowa, with those units shipped right back to American and Canadian buyers. A union official put the future of the Amana plant about as bluntly as you can. Basically, he said, they're just going to store products at the facility. I can't tell you which of those two stories is true. Nobody outside that company can, yet. What I can tell you is that one of them is going to be obviously true within about a year, and that the people who build your refrigerator and the people who own the factory that builds your refrigerator currently disagree in public about whether that factory is being saved or emptied. That's an American-owned company. That's the one you'd have picked if you were guessing. All right, reward for still being here. There is a refrigerator company in O'Fallon, Missouri, that has been building refrigeration since 1945, that is still owned by the family that started it, and that almost nobody making videos about American refrigerators has ever bothered to mention. It's called True. Bob Trulaski started it with his father Frank and his brother Art right at the end of the war. For most of its life, it's been a commercial refrigeration company. The stainless steel stuff behind the bar, in the restaurant kitchen, in the lab. And then they took that same hardware and started building it for houses. That's the True residential line. Column refrigerators, under-counter units, wine storage, beverage centers, refrigerator drawers, built with commercial guts. Everything they build in the United States. And here's the number that matters. Because we spent the first 3 minutes of this video talking about parts and service. True is the first and only manufacturer in commercial refrigeration to offer a 7-year warranty on parts, 7 years on labor, and 7 years on the compressor across its hydrocarbon units. That's their claim on their own site. They also run a domestic parts inventory specifically, so service turnaround doesn't depend on a container ship. 7 years of labor coverage, not parts only, labor. Anybody who's ever paid a technician to open up a sealed system knows exactly what that's worth, because labor is where repair bills actually go to die. They also lean hard into R290, propane-based refrigerant, which is a low global warming potential hydrocarbon and is a big part of why the extended warranty exists on those specific units. Is it a mass-market fridge? No. This is a premium product, and you're going to pay for it. But if the actual question underneath this whole video is, who is still building refrigeration in America and standing behind it, true is the answer nobody in this niche gives you, and I don't understand why. Last name on the list, and this is the one where I have to be careful, because there's a version of this segment that's a lie by omission, and I'm not going to do it. Viking is in Greenwood, Mississippi. Fred Carl put the first professional style range for the home on the market in 1987, and the company built an industry out of a small Delta town. Today, Viking employs more than 1,000 people across 4 manufacturing facilities in LaFleur County. They've been owned since December of 2012 by Middleby, an American company that paid $380 million in cash for them. Viking got into refrigeration in 1996, and in 2000 they bought Amena's 84-inch built-in refrigeration line, which, if you've been paying attention, means a piece of the Amana refrigeration story we just talked about ended up in Mississippi 26 years ago. Here's the asterisk. Viking's cooking equipment and its full-size built-in refrigeration are built in Greenwood. That part is real. But according to Yale Appliance, which is one of the more reliable retailers on manufacturing origin, some Viking products, including dishwashers and freestanding refrigerators, are sourced from international partners, Beko, Electrolux. Not everything with a Viking badge on it comes out of Mississippi, and refrigeration is one of the categories where that's true. So the accurate claim, the one you can defend, is narrow. Viking's built-in refrigeration is American-built. Viking's freestanding refrigerators may not be. If you're buying, that's a question to ask before you sign, not after. And one more thing, because I'm not going to praise a brand and hide its record. In November of 2013, Viking recalled about 750 built-in side-by-side refrigerator freezers. The 42 and 48-inch models with indoor dispensers built between October 2012 and May 2013. The wiring harness connectors could overheat. Viking had 27 reports of electrical shorts and 4 fires. No injuries. The units had sold for somewhere between $5,400 and $6,400, and the recall notice lists them as manufactured in the United States. Made in America doesn't mean flawless. It never did. It means the plant is here, the workers are here, and the company can be reached. That's it. That's the whole promise. And anybody inflating it into something bigger is doing the same thing the marketing departments do. Before somebody types it, there are more American refrigerator makers than the 5 I gave you. I left them off on purpose. I told you the definition up front. Full-size residential refrigerators, final assembly in an American plant in 2026. Perlick has been building refrigeration equipment in Milwaukee since 1917, remaining family-owned through 5 generations while growing into a company with more than 300,000 square feet of manufacturing space. Just down the road, Uline continues producing the under-counter refrigerators and beverage centers that helped make the brand a favorite in premium kitchens, while Marvel traces its roots all the way back to 1892 and still builds specialized under-counter and scientific refrigeration products in Greenville, Michigan. All 3 real, all 3 American-built. None of them sell the big 2-door box most people picture when they hear refrigerator. That's the only reason they're not on the main list. And if you're outfitting a bar or a basement, they deserve your money just as much. So how do you actually check? Standing in the store or scrolling at midnight? 3 things. 1. Read the wording exactly. Made in USA carries the FTC All or Virtually All standard. Assembled in USA is weaker and allows foreign parts. Designed in USA, a flag on the box, decoration, not an origin claim. 2. Find the country of origin on the spec sheet or the label itself, not the ad copy. 3. Ask the retailer which factory it comes from and how long they can get you a sealed system part, because no federal law requires anyone to answer that in your favor. A brand that stocks domestic parts is making a choice, not following a rule. We started in Anderson, South Carolina, a plant building refrigerators since 1988, closing this month, 1,255 people laid off, the work moving to Juarez. Meanwhile, an American-owned company in Iowa is cutting its own plant to a skeleton while its union says the work's going to Mexico. And a Chinese-owned company is pouring $3 billion into Kentucky and Alabama, hiring people to build refrigerators here. The tag tells you the marketing budget. The plant tells you where the work happened. The parts shelf tells you if what you bought is a purchase or a countdown. 5 brands still build full-size refrigerators on American soil. Sub-Zero, GE Appliances, Whirlpool, for now, True, and Viking in the built-ins. Next year, that list might be 4. Watch the one where the workers and the owners can't agree on what's happening inside their own building. Comments are open. Tell me which one you own, how long it's lasted, and what it cost you to fix. That's data the manufacturers won't give you. You give it to me for free every time.